Hi everyone. Okay, I'm back after quite a few hours of putting this together, and it's came together quite well, as you can see. I'm going to go over the different things I did to get it to this point. Like I mentioned before, the top fin I do not have with me, but that's not a major issue. I'm trying to get hold of it so I can complete the videos. So what I'll do is I'll start at the front, and I'll work my way back and then show you what I actually did to get it to this point. Okay, so the front section was pretty simple. Just gave it a paint job. What I did before, I did everything, and like I mentioned, I think I did mention it before, is wash the model down with any soap, let it soak for a bit, and then scrub it with a scrubbing brush just to get all the release agent from the molds off, so the paint will stick. What I did then was I sanded the whole model down with 400 grit sandpaper, and then afterwards I used 2000 grit to get it nice and smooth. You do not have to do that, but I would recommend it since there are certain areas that has mold markings down the sides, or joints should I say. And at this point what I'm going to do is I'm still going to give it another sandpaper to get rid of possible excess paint. As you will see on this, there's a little blob, to get it nice and smooth. Okay, so let me move backwards. Okay, canopy off. Okay, I put the landing gear on. The front landing gear does not actually clip in, it's loose. So what I would recommend is doing a modification, possibly maybe adding a pin, drilling a hole through the bottom, and then you can put this on more permanently if you want to combine or have both, with the landing gear closed and the landing gear open. Okay, so let me just take this off, take the front section off. I'm putting the landing gear back on again so it doesn't fall over, like such. Okay, so this I did glue together. As I mentioned before, I used epoxy, and then I used filler. I used a Maya filler again to fill it up. Sorry. And it came together quite well. I might just touch up along the edges. That looks pretty good. Okay. The top. There are a couple of bubbles in this section over there, but that's not in the way, it will be hidden away, so I did not bother with them. There were a couple of bubbles in these sections which I covered up. There was a slight bubble on this edge which I repaired, and I used a Dremel just to Dremel away the interior, which I did before. Okay, you do not need to do that if you want it. Okay. The rear of the canopy, just sanded down and painted, and then the wings I haven't glued them in. Loose. I did cover up bubbles in these areas. I did not need to do that since it's been hidden away, and I am considering gluing the wings in permanently, and then having the pods come loose. As you can see, it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. This one as well. Okay. And then this is the last section. Okay, as you can see, the landing gear doesn't clip in, and well, it clips in, but it's not stable, as in tight. So I would recommend, if you would like to have your Viper in a standing position, is and you don't want to glue these in permanently, is just have the model stand loose on them. Don't move it around too much in case it collapses, unless you glue them in. Obviously, then different story altogether. They come out quite easily. Okay. On these landing gears I did quite a bit of repair since I had a lot of bubbling, which I'm going to try and eliminate on any future castings on the edges of these. The top ones don't really matter too much on these edges since it's hidden away, but I did them anyway. As for the rest, it was pretty good casting on both of them. Okay, then your rear section, what I found, for some reason, I'm not sure why, although on the CG model it works, is there's a small gap between the pod and the rear fuselage. Okay, there and over there. Okay, and then at the bottom there's a gap on these edges over here where it joins on. Okay, so to eliminate the gap and to move it forward like it should be, so it's flush over here, you've got two options. Either you can sand down this edge on both sides so the whole thing moves forward, so this sits flush, or you can leave it as is and then just fill up the gap with putty. Okay, and then without gluing it, and then you can remove it, smooth it down, and then when you put it in, the putty will fill up the gap. And that will probably be my option. But I might change my mind. Okay, the gap over here at the bottom is not too much of an issue. You can fill it if you want. If you're going to glue this on permanently, then by all means fill up the gaps completely, all the way around, sand down, paint. Okay, on these two pods I had a couple of bubbling issues like I did show before. See, it sits very tight around the edges. Okay, they were easily rectified. I just filled them in and then waited for it to dry and sanded it down. Okay, and the engines fit in very well. Okay, so this one as well looks good. Both sides. I took the main body, main fuselage, glued it together as the other one, filled up the gap, sanded it down, and I mean there were two big bubbles over here which I got rid of, and it looks pretty good. Okay, at the back as well, fold up the side, the edges, and just sand it down. Then I glue the top on. I just filled up these areas over here since they'll be visible. I didn't bother about these since you won't see them, and they're just behind the seat. As for the rest, I did not do it. These are, I might touch up over here. That is looking pretty good, and like I said, it fits very tightly, which is ideal. Okay, as you see, it won't fall off. Okay. Okay, and in the engines, I had a couple of dubbing issues on the edges, nothing serious at all. Nozzles didn't have any, so it looks quite well. There is a possibility that once the top is on, that the engine won't be completely horizontal. So if I put these on, you might need to, on this one, sand down about 8mm at about half a mil on the top engine, so that sits on this area and makes it level. It's a possibility it might sit like this. Okay, it might not. You might not need to do it. Mine seems to be pretty flat, but like I said, it might be an issue, so you might need to do that. That looks pretty nice. Put that one there. Bring these two in. Okay, there's your rear end. Okay. So in the next video, I'll come back. I'll start working on the cockpit, putting that together, and then we see how it slides in and out. Okay. Thanks.